myself, Tony Chambers, Kartsport Academy head coach for 2011. We're here, we've got our academy patron, Wade Cunningham. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, mate.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too.
Catch up the other summer, but I never get to catch up properly after this. So before you get in, have a quick chat about the Kartsport Academy for one, and obviously we'll touch on, you've got some pretty big plans this year with your racing. But I think maybe we'll start because that's some pretty big news for you this year, 2011. What have you got planned?
We've got 4 Indy Car races, which is very cool, with Sanctuary Motorsports. Same team I've been driving with the last 2 years in Indy Lights. A couple of companies we worked with last year around May, and so we're making the move up.
Fantastic, and that was sort of obviously the all the hard work into that, getting the funding and what have you. So you've got one of your nice sponsors caps here over there. Can we buy one of those, or?
It's limited edition right now, this is the only one.
Yeah, hopefully this is going to be the only one. So your sponsor here, what's the name of it?
Creason, they make radiant underfloor heating panels, energy saving stuff, insulation for walls.
So obviously they do a bit of hard work and get some sponsors on board to pay for it, because it's not an easy thing, you know. You've been up in America for a while now. 2003 you won the World Karting Championships with CRG, and you go back through 2005 you won the Indy Lights Championship there, and it's pretty much been a roller coaster for you there. You've won the Freedom 500 there at Indy 3 times now, and you came to do that, so that's a pretty big thing. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, obviously been in the lights a long time, 6 years, so I hope to have a few victories by now. But I'm happy to put it all behind me now and make a step up in the car.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you've done it in a few other bits and pieces as well. You've come back here and you've run a Porsche with your brother, and you've done some stuff with the A1 GP. How do you think that sort of helped you sort of make you secure in this ride?
It hasn't really. The A1 was a really good experience. Unfortunately, I got to race. I just got to do a few of the rookie days. But unfortunately, A1's not around anymore. But it did give a few people a lot of opportunity that they wouldn't have got if it wasn't around.
So, and speaking of opportunities, that's probably where we can now touch on our Kartsport Academy and your role as a patron. The Kartsport Academy has been going for 3 years now. You had a good launch back in 2007 up there at the Track Alley, and that was all pretty extravagant. It's come leaps and bounds since then, pretty much. How do you think the Academy would have helped you as a karter when you were based back here in New Zealand?
Well, we had to learn the hard way just by trial and error. And if there was something like the Academy around, you learn kart setup and kart preparation and all those things, and I would have learned, years earlier that Bob wasn't a mechanic, and that the sooner I got rid of him, the sooner I would have started winning. So.
And let's touch on Bob as a mechanic. Obviously he's looking after Aaron at the moment. Aaron's probably not the easiest person to work with. Do you think Bob's become quite a patient man these days?
He has. He's got three boys. We're not all easy to deal with sometimes. Obviously I was the best and the easiest child to get around.
Oh, very much so.
Then Mitchell, he's been dealing with Aaron for many years at the kart track now, and they enjoyed a lot, and patient man.
And you touched on the Academy could have helped you, and it obviously could have been a big help to Bob at the same time as well. As much as we laugh about that, but it certainly does help the fathers as well, as far as learning the mechanical sides of how a kart works, and then how to deal with your driver as well too.
No, of course. Karting is a sport just like any other, and so you have to learn the basics and then the expert side of it as well. And there was no formal training for anything. So you really get to a kart track. Fortunately, New Zealand has a pretty good structure of C-rated, B-rated, A-rated meetings. But other than that, you might not be racing against people that are actually in your talent group. And so I felt it was pretty easy if you didn't have the spark straight away, that you could lose interest really quickly, because if you're getting lapped in a 10-lap heat race, you have no idea what's going wrong. You can't figure out how to turn it around and get quicker. You're just going to walk away because it's too hard.
Very much, and that's the big thing that we've really focused on at the Academy is that ship retention, and Kartsport numbers have died for many reasons, but it's not an easy sport to get into. So I think what you've just said here really reflects we are trying to make the sport a little bit better by helping those people with the grassroots, and we're sort of obviously imagine how much further we can but I think we're going to try this anyway. As the patron of the Academy, how do you think we could do things to maybe, obviously the goal for Kartsport New Zealand is to have another world champion. We've whether it be in whatever class and whatever country. But do you think there's any steps the Kartsport Academy could do to achieve that or make that role a little bit easier?
I don't have the answer, but I think one of the big things that helped drivers in my era 7, 8 years ago now, and at the elite level of karting, was there was a really good international series in Australia, the CIK series, the championship, and right around then you had a bunch of really top guys that were racing in Australia. It was so easy for us to fly over. We could race the same karts, the same engines, and the same tyres, and you could get to that level. Unfortunately, that kind of racing's died away, and I think it's there's been sort of a surge in the popularity of single-seater championships and that sort of thing, and it pulls the drivers that are maybe 17, 18 out of karts too early, and so they leave, and so you don't have the drivers that should be racing at the elite level of karting. They're gone now, and so these series don't survive. You look at who came out of the Australian CIK series: Mark Winterbottom, Jamie Whincup. I mean, they're all top-line winning supercar drivers now. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things, is the style of competition at the top.
So we'll touch on the academy a little bit, maybe a little bit more on yourself for this season, and not so much yourself, but other drivers overseas competing this year, and all former single seaters. There's a huge list of them. Obviously, you've got a massive year ahead. You've got the likes of Mitch Evans and Richie Stenaway. How do you think they're running in different formulas compared to what you were running? How do you sort of see them going, and the steps they've made? You think they've made the right choices for teams and what have you? How do you sort of see the years going for them?
I just read about Richie Stenaway, and I don't really know the guy. But I think he did the Formula ADAC championship, and now he's going to be doing the German F3. I think he's slipping in the back door of Europe.
Yes.
A few drivers have done it. Tony Avies came through German F3, but they're not in the preeminent junior single seater formula at the time. So if he's able to do a really good job, maybe get the backing of a company or a sports management firm, maybe he will then do that sideways step from German F3 into something like GP3, because they're probably, at the type of car around a similar level. Mitch Evans has got a big task ahead of him. The guys never really raced outside New Zealand. Australia is kind of like New Zealand. And so unless he does the total immersion, unless he lives in Europe, he lives with his team, he does everything like that, it's going to be very tough, because to go over there with the culture shock, away from your friends and family, it's going to be tough just in the races, and then if you throw in a lifestyle shift.
Yes, yeah.
So for him, I think he's going to have to immerse himself and really commit to being there for the entire season.
And then next, we can touch back on the academy with it, because obviously the third step that we want to look at doing an elite drivers program, where we do look after the likes of yourself. Excuse me, when you were back in the kart, obviously you went to Europe and made a big investment with yourself and what have you. And obviously what we're trying to do now in the future, we're doing an elite drivers program, which would have helped the likes of yourselves. What would sort of be the main aspects of an elite drivers program, which certainly would have helped you at that stage?
I think you need to identify the end goal. When I was racing karts, I didn't actually have one.
Yes.
I was just racing karts and having fun, and I only wanted to race karts. So I could kind of just aimlessly continue to race through and see where it went, and then I ended up in Europe and winning, and that's when I left. But other people have clear-cut goals where they want to be, so you have to identify what the goal is, and then you have to make the plan to be there. So I think for a driver from New Zealand to sit in Europe and win or compete for a world title again, they're going to have to be identified quite early, and then when they're, as soon as they're old enough, maybe 15 years old and a senior, they need to go to Europe, and they have to be part of the factory program. There's no other way to do it. I don't think someone's going to go over in a one-off or a 3-race program and compete at the world level.
So it's obviously very tough. So with the elite program, we have to put some pretty big steps in place, and then teach people some, like you said, goal setting is obviously a really big part of it. Touching back on the academy, and your family's still heavily involved in karting back here in New Zealand and racing. Obviously your brother Mitch was running the 997 championship, and obviously your brother Aaron's still running a kart and involved really heavy on the spinners. Aaron's pretty unique. How do you think the academy could help Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron's been karting for 16 years now. I don't think there's any helping him, to be honest. I think if he was going to get it, it would have happened by now.
Yeah, he's got lots of time, as we say, but maybe we might have to do something special there. But no, thanks for your time today, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Really good to see you. And we'll have a proper chat afterwards. But all the best for this year. You know, you girls will proud back here in New Zealand, and we'll be watching the TV in the evening